Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel, where today I'm going to be showing you how to test your INR. Now, I've got a kit that was given to me by the hospital, and I'm going to show you what's in it and how to test it, along with why it's important to test it and what to do if it's out of range. So let's go on with it. So this is the kit. We've got the sharps box and the INR machine and kit, and in it I keep my record book, which is where I note down all my INR readings, along with the doses and when to next check it. The testing strips, which do have a best before date, which is there. So these are good for use until the 30th of April next year. Then I have the pricking pen, which just simply put one of these lancets in, which put that in here, take off the cap, put the lid back on, load it like so, hold it against your finger, and then boom, you've just been pricked. And then finally the machine itself, which looks like this. Now when you get new strips from the chemist, you will often get a little SD card that looks something like this, that just simply goes in to the side of the machine like so, and then from there it tests the INR. Now, sometimes you'll either get just one SD card or two SD cards. If there's just two SD cards, then you need to change the card every time you finish a tube of strips. However, if there's just one SD card, you don't have to change it, because the strips have a code which is on the side of the tube, and then once you turn on, I'll show you this later, but once you turn on the machine, put the strip in, it will say code, then from there I'll show you the rest later. So I think it's time to show you how to test your INR. So now what I'm doing is just loading the lancet up into the pen, and I'm taking off the lid. That can just go in the sharps box with everything else. If you prefer to put it in somewhere else, then that's fine. I put it in my sharps box. I'm now loading it up, and the pen just goes on like that. I've armed it. That now means to stab me to get my blood. So I just got to get a strip out and put it in the machine, and I've got to wait for the code on the side of the pot. Come on, now I've checked that's all matched up with the code on the pot, and that's got to wait. So just pressing the blood up into my finger, ready, so that there's enough up there when it's ready to test. Now I've just stabbed it. When it's bleeped, you will have 179 seconds to get the blood onto the strip before it times out, and that is an unsuccessful test. You just got to put a little bit of blood onto the strip. It'll then take about 5-10 seconds to analyse, and then you'll get your INR. That's a thumbs up saying perfect. It will say QC if it is correct, if it's the correct amount. So I've just got to wait. It does take a while. Please do press your finger down in the kitchen roll or tissue. Bleeding, there's 2.2. Now with the strip, just put that in the tissue. That can go in the bin. The lancet, however, must go in to the sharps box. Now I'm going to zoom in so you can see this properly. So I've pushed the lid in, and I'll pull that back. Now, the strip, the lancet has a little latch, that's also on the top of the pen. Just push it out and then drop it into the box. That's ready, perfect. That can just go back in the kit, along with the machine and the strips, as I am demonstrating now. So once that's all in, you now have your complete INR kit, ready to go again. So, why is it important to test your INR? Because you need to get the correct dose of warfarin to make it easier for your blood to clot as quickly as it does for people who aren't on warfarin. Because if you're on warfarin, it's because you've got small narrow veins and the blood needs to get through it. If it's thick, then it's not going to get through as easily as it should do. One other reason why it's important to test your INR is if it's out of range. Now, if it's below range, the best. I've been below range, and what I've done is I've taken a higher dose the night that I've tested it, whereas if it's above range, then this is where it can get quite daunting, so beware. If it's above range, my current range is 1.8 to 2.5. So mine is, if it's above 2.5, then I'll have a lower dose. However, if it's in 3s, it's, get it down. 4s and 5s, that is an area of concern. So if you phone up, if you go through the cardiac nurses at the hospital, then they'll say, please come in and we want to get you on a heparin drip. And I think the doctors, your GP, would say the same thing. I don't know, I've never had to go in and be put on a heparin drip because it's been high. If it's 10 point something, let's say 10.3, this is quite dark. If it's 10.3 or 10 point whatever, don't phone the cardiac nurses, don't phone your GP, phone for an ambulance, because you could be internally bleeding and that needs to get sorted quickly. Thankfully, I've never had to go in an ambulance because my INR's in the 10 point something. And I don't know anyone who's had to go in because of that, but it is something that is quite serious and could potentially kill you if it's not sorted. Because serious internal bleeding in the gut area can spread, go up to your lungs, build up pressure around your chest, and could potentially much you inhale and exhale, causing you to lose breath, suffocation and death. Sorry, that was dark and a bit blunt, but that is something quite serious that can happen, and it's nothing to really joke about, because that is one thing that can happen. One major thing is if you're on warfarin and you know someone who's on warfarin and you go to hit them, don't hit them in the head, because if you hit them on the head, they then have to go to hospital to make sure that they haven't got a serious head injury, because that is something that can happen. You can quite easily rupture vein. If you go to hit them, don't hit them in the stomach area, because you can rupture their spleen or rupture something that's a major blood vessel, and then internal bleeding, death. It's quite restrictive when you're on warfarin. So things can affect it, such as being ill. I have a cold at the minute, cold and a sore throat. I've got a cup of tea. That helps my sore throat. But I did test it on Monday. It was out of range. I think it was 1.8 or something, but it wasn't on a day that I had to test it because I test it every 2 weeks on a Monday. So I just took a higher dose. Another thing that can affect it is if you're on antibiotics. If you are on antibiotics and you phone up, do mention this to the cardiac nurses or your GP, because they will start questioning you or your parents as to why it's so high. Do let them know, as well as if you're ill and it's out of range, do let them know. Doesn't matter if it's below range, above range, and like high 2s, low 3s. Please do mention that. Another thing that can massively affect your INR result and your warfarin is getting drunk. I don't know if you can see this, but to my left is a giant shelf full of alcohol. I do not drink any of that. It was possibly a bad place to film in my dining room, but if you're 18 or 21, I don't know if anyone in America is watching this, or whatever age you are when you can drink in public, do not get tabled or pissed or heavily drunk, because that can again affect your INR. So yeah, don't do anything stupid. Be careful when you're using knives in cookery, at school or at home. Do be careful when around sharp objects. And one interesting fact about, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a big fat thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel down below. And also, this might be going up on the Little Hearts Matter YouTube channel. I will be linking the channel in the description below, as well as their website, and where you can find useful articles about children with single ventricle conditions. They're an amazing charity, truly an amazing charity. I've been a part of Little Hearts Matter for possibly as long as I can remember. But yeah, they're amazing. So if you enjoyed it, thumbs up. My Twitter's down below. If you want to see my other Half Heart Journey videos, I'll put a link in the description below as well, and a link to the playlist possibly right here, covering the alcohol behind me, if you can see that. Hopefully you can't. It's all my parents, trust me. Well, anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye.